How's it going, rednecks? I'm out in the garage getting ready to work on the blue Oldsmobile, and specifically the opera light. Now this thing actually didn't have a working driver's side opera light, and a long time ago I made some modifications, built my own little light bulb inside, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this thing back apart and show you what I did because it failed. And believe it or not, the passenger side is still a factory working light bulb. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to rip both sides off, take them inside the house, show you what I did to this one, show you how the original ones work, and then we're going to build something new for it. And if you remember, I have done opera lights on my yellow Oldsmobile. I actually did switchbacks. So those were white when the lights were on, and then when you turn on the turn signal, they light up yellow, and then when you turn off the turn signals, they went back to white. Now I'm not going to do that to this one because that requires wiring in all the turn signal wiring and everything. It's a little further than I want to take this one. So without further ado, what do you say we remove both these lights and get them inside the house and start working on them.
I'm lost in a city, still so far from home. I've searched for you all my life. Cast out like a shadow, racing towards the light. I pray to see you one more time.
Alright, rednecks, with both the lights out, I will say this plastic tool worked a lot better at removing the body molding that was inside the car right here and on the other side. And then these are 13 millimeter little like press nuts that go on the plastic little threaded parts here on the back side of the opera light. And as you've seen, I dropped one inside the door or inside the pillar. Had to use a magnet to get it out, but if you want a better video on how to remove these, I suggest going to see my yellow Oldsmobile video. It's really cold in this garage. My hands are cold. I'm ready to get in the house, so I'm going to grab them things, and I'll see you in there. Alright, with the two pulled off the Oldsmobile, I kind of want to go over what has all been done, or what we're going to be doing. And this one right here is the original opera light with no modifications. The light bulb is still working on it, just not very well. This is the one I modified a couple years ago. We'll be tearing that one apart, and I'll show you what I did. And then I'm going to show you what I am going to be doing, or showing you guys what's going to be happening in this video. So what do you say right now? I can just quickly power them up. And it's pretty hard to see that they're lit up, so how about I shut off the rest of the lights and I show you them all side by side. Alright, with all the lights off but the one behind me illuminating my face so you can see me, this is going to be the one we're going to be making in the video. This is the one I modified years ago, and the original one that's barely working. So I'm going to finish shutting that last light off, and then I'll show you all three, and then we can start tearing into the middle one here. And there we are. This is with all the lights off. The original Oldsmobile opera light right here, and it looks like there's a little burnt spot in the bottom, but other than that, that one's actually working pretty good for how old it is. This is the one I modified years ago, and it's in pretty rough shape. And this is the new one we're making. There is a little bit of a dead spot in the center, but other than that, it turns out pretty good. So let's get that middle one torn apart and see what's going on. Alright, armed with a small flathead screwdriver, there are 6 tabs going around the edges, as well as some like glue tape going around. And those tabs are about right here, one in the center and one at the top. I always find starting at the top is the easiest. What you're going to want to do is stick your screwdriver alongside and kind of pry this edge over and get that tab to come out, and then work your way down. And you don't want to keep pulling on it or you'll snap this glass. It's not glass, I guess it's plastic. And it's really brittle, so you want to get that tab out first and then start sliding again. You don't want to do this all at once, because believe me, you'll break these. I broke a few practicing and trying different things. Alright, we're starting to get some of that glue, and it's actually, I can see it's starting to rise right here, and that tab is holding again. So I want to get to this tab now and pry it out. Let's hope I don't break it. It looks like it's already slightly stress cracked. I'm going to take it real easy right here. I got to just get that out. There we go. So I got that tab passed. Once you get one side undone, you can slide this housing. I like to start at this end, and you kind of slide it that way or to the side that's out already. There we go. Start peeling the sticky stuff away, and be careful with this. Once again, you want to do this while it's warm because obviously it's going to be more flexible and more forgiving. Here we are. Looks like we got it, other than this has kind of glued itself to the face. There we go. And that is your lens off. So with the lens all torn apart, you can see what I used here was a paper-like material called EL light. Now what's funny about that is that's what the original light for the Oldsmobile was. This is one of the original lights right here, and has some sort of ballast on it. I'm not quite sure what it does. But the unfortunate thing is these have something as well, and it's right here. It's an inverter. It's going from 12 volt, or I guess from DC to AC. So this is one reason I don't like these, is this is a failing point right here. And obviously another one is this used to actually be pink, and it's sun faded. And I think that's what took this light out, because if I power it up, it is not happy. There's very little of it lighting up. I will say when this did light up, it looked magnificent, but with the lens on it being clear, you could see the pink through the lens. So there was two problems with this. In the daytime this was pink, and at night it was like a bluish color. So kind of a big fail on my part. So what do you say we rip all of this out and I show you what's going in there? So here's everything to make our light. The main ingredient being this right here. This is called LED cob light, and I will have a link in the description below for all the stuff used, or at least this right here. We're going to need a resistor. We're going to need a 2-prong plug-in, white paint, some tape, and a solder station. So I'm going to get these things cut up right now. We're going to feed our wire through, and I'm going to show you the difference with and without the resistor, as well as we're going to paint the lens. So let's get started by just cutting them up and getting them taped on our backing. Alright, with the wires soldered onto the cob light and them cut to length, I'm gonna, obviously this is all temporary, I'm just gonna power it up and show you guys how bright these things are. They're super bright, they're actually hard to even look at. And then we're just gonna gently set the lens on there, and I'm gonna show you how bright they are. So how about I'm not gonna click it all the way in because I don't want to risk damaging the lens. So I'm gonna shut all the lights off and then show you guys how bright this thing is. Alright, to show you how bright this thing is, this is my kitchen right now with just that light on. And those are just the 2 cob lights. And there is a huge dead spot in the middle. It's flaring out my camera pretty bad, so it's hard to actually get it on camera. But what I'm going to do right here is I have the resistor right here. Right now my power is coming from here, going through this yellow wire, and then going into the light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that yellow wire, disconnect it right here, and then the power is going to have to go through the resistor and then around and then to the light. And I'm going to show you how much darker that's going to make this light. So let's see if I can do this with one hand while getting everything. And bam! Just like that. I think that looks pretty good. The problem is there's still a huge dead spot in the center. And how we're going to take care of that is with our spray paint. We're going to try and spray paint the lens. So how about I turn the lights back on, we get this lens taped off, get it painted, and then we do another test with and without the resistor. Well, as you can see, it's nighttime out, so I'm not going to be able to get a shot of it. I'm just going to go outside, spray paint it, bring it in, and let it dry off. And all you're trying to do is just cover outside of the lens area, because all we're trying to do is just paint that lens white to diffuse it. So there's an idea of how I got it taped off. Now we're going to shake our paint and get this thing painted. So I guess I'll get back to you once that lens is painted white. And we're back, and with the lens painted, the biggest thing you want to focus on is making sure you have an even coat all the way across. And with that being done, we're going to lightly set it on top of here, and then we're going to do a test again. One without the resistor where it goes through the yellow wire, and then one with the resistor when we take the wire off, just to show the difference. And then I'm going to solder the resistor in line and finish up all the wiring. So once again, this is what it looks like with the resistor jumped, and with the diffuser on, or with it painted, it is pretty even all the way across the front. So the light looks good, but it is almost way too bright. So let's take that light down, and we'll go through the resistor by undoing this. And there you go. That's what it looks like without the resistor. And you get a nice even lighting all the way across. And I'll step back just to show you how bright that is. That line that you're seeing right there on the window is from the lens not being pushed on all the way, because there's a gap. If you take a look, it was just gapped. So yeah, it looks a lot better without the or with the resistor. So what do you say we get that soldered in and finish this thing up? And just like that, we have it all hot glued in so the wires can't get pulled through. And then I also hot glued the strips, so at least the double-sided sticky tape has backup. And that's what it looks like powered on. And all we got to do is clip our lens on, and then we'll go outside and install them. Well, because I know this video is getting horribly long, I just showed the quick install of the driver's side, and it's on right now. I have it pretty lit up in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the lights, and I'm going to show you what this thing looks like, and then we'll end this video. Well, Rednecks, with it on there and all finished up, I'm pretty happy with how it looks, and for the price, I can't beat it. So I'm ready to get inside. It is freaking cold out here, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and get back to work.